When I saw that Netflix was making a live action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, I kind of scoffed at it because I understand that Bebop was never meant to be a live action show, or else it would have been. Shinichiro Watanabe, within every single frame, had an intention behind the story. The writers, the directors of the show, they had an intention behind the story. There's a reason why Bebop wasn't a manga. It was an original anime series, a 26 episode original anime series by Shinichiro Watanabe. Why? Why did he do it that way? Why was the story told that way? Because there was no other way that it could be told. When you look at how dynamic the shots are, when you look at the fact that the rustic environment that was meant to be communicated in Bebop was all done hand-drawn on cells to further communicate that feeling of rusticism, if that's even a word, that's simply a feeling that can't be recreated in live action. The action spectacles that Bebop is known for, yeah, you can do them in CGI, but they're never going to embody the same feeling because the handcrafted sense of fidelity that cell animation has, the fact that every single frame had to be labored over, the fact that every single frame has heart and soul put into it because it was done by hand, is all but lost when you translate that to live action. And not even to get into this discussion of cells and how that affected the overall story, just the fact that it was animated at all, like, there's certain things that just look totally uncanny when you do them in live action. I don't know what Netflix's budget on this movie is, but they would have to have some fairly expensive CGI to be able to recreate some of the moments that Bebop had. Because even like movies like Transformers, for example, when I look at those movies, they have an insane budget, and yet none of the characters feel that they are at home in the world. The Decepticons and so on, they don't feel like they belong in that world because it is CGI. That is some of the best CGI can do. There's a movie like fucking Blade Runner, which takes CGI and very creatively interconnects it with the world, the new Blade Runner film, and I think that's some of the best CGI can do, but that had to have a very clear artistic vision behind it. They had to really know what they were doing. Even in Blade Runner's case, because it was like a neon, Neo-Tokyo type of deal, they had a lot of room to make it electronic and CGI because that was the aesthetic of the environment in the first place. Bebop is not that aesthetic. Bebop is a rustic, worn out, dry story. When you look at all of the worlds of Bebop, when you look at the bustling cities in space, when you look at, the ships that they're on, the mass scale that these ships have, when you look at the deserts or any place that they really end up in for a significant period of time, all of it is marred by the fact that this is a rustic and broken down place. And that's emphasized as well in the themes of the show, because you have episodes where the main cast has to go find a Betamax tape because important information is on that tape and they need it, and so they have to explore through a rundown broken ship in order to find it. You would not be able to have moments like that if this world was not wasteland-esque and extremely broken down, extremely rustic, and themes like that would not be there, moments like that would not be there if the overall aesthetic did not contribute to the plot and the message of the show. And I don't think you can recreate an aesthetic that embodies that type of world in CGI with live action. And I certainly don't think you would have all of the little character acting moments that made Bebop special. Because people, they still share GIFs of Bebop to this day. They still share, oh, this is a little GIF of the dog running around, or this is a GIF of Ed doing his thing. And the reason why those GIFs are shareable is because when we look at them, we remember the character. That by the way that they act, by the way that they move, by the way that they communicate through their movement, you are being told directly something about them. And actors can recreate that kind of feeling by just being really good at being human, but there's a certain level of expression that you would not be able to get in live action that you can get in animation. And that's one of the things that worries me the most about this adaptation, because being able to watch Spike flip through a tape and tear the fucking film out of it, or being able to watch him light his iconic cigarette and the face that he makes when he does so, or being able to watch the dog run around and be all cute, or being able to watch Ed move her arms in the way that she does, run around in the way that she does, frantically, with the kind of shape that she has that isn't exactly human. Faye Valentine's incredibly idealized sexual appeal. I mean, you can get that in live action as well, but the movements, the character movements, can't be expressed in the way that they are in animation. You wouldn't be able to see that level of detail and expression unless you had hand drew it and thought about all of the different expressions that were taking place. Really thought about it. And that's not even to go into the set pieces, the different shot compositions that everything has that oftentimes you literally could not recreate in live action. This film is probably going to be incredibly digitized, lots and lots of CGI that doesn't have the budget to do what it wants to do, and it's not going to be good. It's not going to be able to recreate the same feeling Bebop had. It's going to be really bad. And honestly, as a diehard fan of Cowboy Bebop, that makes me really sad.